Estate. We're going to start this Overrun map right now. Pay attention to the Locust. As you'll see, they're going to start with a whole bunch of tickers. The reason you want to start with tickers is because it's really important to get the first fence down, whatever that fence that your team agrees to bring down is. Now, this Locust member kind of went by himself as a ticker. What the COG team is going to do is they're going to figure out which fence that the Locust team is actually going for first and try and wipe out the tickers there. Now, you'll see that there's a turret down, and that turret mutilates tickers. They don't stand a chance once they come into line of sight. So those turrets, they only last for 8 seconds, but they are devastating while they're up for 8 seconds. On this particular map on Overstate, there's 2 routes. On every Overrun map, there's 2 routes. On this particular one, though, when you start the first round, there's the over the bridge route, and then there's the under the bridge route. If you look at the Locust right now, they're taking the upper hand position, which is on the bridge, to try and clear up the COG underneath, and hopefully the tickers can get in underneath and start doing some damage to those fences, because the fences are worth a ton of points if you can start chewing up the fences. Look at the Locust right now. You'll see that the Grenadier is having a hard time knocking down this fence, and that's because only the ticker is the most viable choice to knock down these fences. They want to make sure that you're able to push your tickers forward. You can't just go by yourself. Notice there's just minimal damage going down. So these guys are pushing. They're by themselves. There's the ticker. So there's no resistance from the COG team, but as you can see, once the ticker shows up, this fence is going to go down immediately, and now they're going to be able to push into the map some more. And the objective right now is, you'll see there's a green icon on the map that's constantly highlighted. That is the E-hole. That is your objective. What you want to do is take out the E-hole, and right now this is going to get interesting because the COG team just put down a turret. That turret's going to be there for 8 seconds, and man, that thing does a ton of damage if it looks at you. And so we got ourselves a 1v1 battle right now, and it's over. So Locust is going to go down. That was the Grenadier versus the Engineer. The Engineer would be Baird, and Baird comes stock with the Nasher. So take a look at the COG team right now. They're protecting the underneath position. That's the quickest route to get to the E-hole, as you can see it over there in the corner. The E-hole is at like around 25% right now. The Locusts have been doing a good job putting some damage on it. Whether you want to ninja in there with your tickers and just suicide the E-hole, or if you actually want to strategically get in there with Grenadiers and the Cantus and constantly heal up, it all depends on the situation. You always want to be evaluating what the COG team is doing in their makeup. Right now I'm seeing on the COG team there's 1 medic. I think I see 2 engineers, 1 soldier. I don't think I see a scout. I don't think they're utilizing the scout yet. That'd be Garen. But it's a little unnecessary. The scout really comes into play when the endgame units for the Locust come out. And those endgame units would be the ones that you purchase, which are in the second row of the Locust team. And you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, so right now they just finished putting all the damage on this E-hole, so this first round is over. I didn't get a read on the time there, but the objective is to get to that E-hole and knock out the E-hole reinforcements as fast as you can as the Locust team. Now, unfortunately, when you're the COG team, it's a little bittersweet because the game is engineered so that the COG team loses. It just depends how fast you lose. All right, so now the COG team's running the scout. We're on the back of the scout right now. And the important part of the scout, his main ability is to throw out the scouting grenade. The spot grenade, excuse me. So when he throws out the spot grenade, it actually debuffs the Locust to take extra damage. So when those big Locusts start coming out, you're going to want to spot the big Locust and make sure that that debuff's on them so you can take them out quicker. The more advanced Locusts are actually more expensive Locusts to purchase. So if you can knock out an expensive Locust pretty quick, then they just wasted a whole bunch of points on that Locust, and you're actually going to probably do a really good job holding off the Locust. So now I'm looking at the COG team right now, and they're doing a great job holding off this push right now. The team is diverse. They got great turret placement, and the Locusts are just having a hard time figuring out where they're going to go in. Now let's go look at the Locust right now, and you'll see we're on the back of a Rager. Now the Rager special ability, he just gets super large, super fast, and he could take a ton of damage. He's pretty much getting in there. He's got some time. It doesn't last forever, but he's just got some time to make some really big play, and once the rage is over, then, well, you know what, he's pretty squishy, and he just is out of commission. But the Rager is a great Locust. If you need to create a distraction, if you just need to push a little bit more, someone just get on the back of that Rager and do some damage and just cause some mayhem. Again, he's not the best For pushes, the best pusher is going to be your Mauler, which is the third slot on the Locust team, because the Mauler has the shield. He could potentially take no damage from the COG team and get a good vantage point for your Locust team. Let's take a look at the COG team right now. I just want to show you guys that the Scout, it's only exclusive to the Scout, these vantage points. He's the only guy that can actually jump up and get these vantage points. He comes in with the Marzo, and that Marzo is pretty much, on other COGs, it's a 2-shot kill if it's body shots, but depending on the Locust, all the Locusts have different health bars. So I think I saw a triple shot right there. He's going to throw a spot grenade out. But on this map, on Estate, this is actually a really good spot because on every map, like I said, there's 2 lanes. And when you're at that vantage point that the Scout was at, you could see if it's left or if it's right. And you're going to want to make sure you communicate to your team what direction that the Locusts are focusing in on. If you're a smart Locust team, you'll send a distraction in one direction, but then you'll send your main fight in the other direction. All right, so there's another spot grenade out. Right now, we're just at a bit of a stalemate right now. It's a little hectic. There's definitely damage getting done on the E-hole right now. As you can see, the COG team is absolutely surrounding their E-hole because it is worn down. It's got probably like just a few hit points. And all the Locusts need to do really is throw a grenade in there. It gets us to go down, but the COG team is definitely holding up a really good last stand here. They are not going to let this E-hole take damage. This Grenadier is trying to do something, but he's doing like a 1v3. I don't know what he's thinking. He's going to go down. At least he was there. He was trying to do some damage, but if he had a grenade, there it is. I just heard a grenade go off, and now the E-hole is gone. So now we're going to go to the third round of this match, and the Locusts are going to try to put in their final score. The score would be how fast they actually finish this map. So here we go. This is the third part of the map. Destroy the generator. This is the final objective of Overrun. And let's see now. I want to remind you guys, actually, if you don't know, when you purchase a more advanced Locust, you actually get to keep that Locust when the round flips. So if you had a Corpser, or if you had a Rager, or whoever it is, you actually start the round with that Locust. So right now you'll see the Locust team, they loaded up some tickers. They got down the first fence really fast. The COG team is at a bit of a disadvantage because that first fence went down like insanely fast. So now the tickers could start running in. However, I think it's only going to be that one fence that they got down. If you notice on the COG team, Sophia, your medic, she throws down those stim grenades, which is absolutely a blessing for the COG team because when you're in one of those stim grenades, you're actually getting full health every frame that stim grenade is out. The only time you can get killed is if you get killed by a one-shot. That's the only time you're going to go down if you're in stim grenades. So it looks like the COG team is just finished a whole wave of a horde here, and now they're going to go up against the Serapede. You definitely don't want to be in front of a Serapede when the Serapede shows up. Serapedes do massive damage, and they also are just really hard to kill because of the weak spot on the Serapede. But as you can see in the COG team right now, we're not spectating them anymore. But if you just want to kick out the back of the Serapede, that's probably the easiest way to go if the Serapede isn't paying attention. We just got some standard. The Grenadier is going to be your bread and butter on the Locust team with the shotgun, and the Grenadier gets a frag grenade every 15 seconds he's alive. So every 15 seconds you could potentially throw out a frag, and as soon as you get it, you want to strategically throw out that frag. Hopefully you'll use some teamwork. Let's go flip over to the Locust. I want to show you something interesting right now. We're on the back of a ticker right now, but the ticker is right next to one of his buddies, the Corpser, which is the most expensive Locust unit. So whoever that Corpser was doing a ton of work, getting those support points. There's actually 2 Corpsers right now on the Locust team. They're going to chew through these fences right now. The Corpser is practically impossible to kill at range because if there's a Cantus on the team, the Cantus can heal the Corpser, and then once the Corpser is getting low on health, the Corpser can actually burrow. So then he can just retreat, and as a Corpser, you're going to want to retreat if you're low on health because it's such an expensive unit. Probably all your points went into getting that Corpser, so just make sure you take care of that Corpser when you get it. So don't be foolish. Don't just pay for the Corpser and go in there all Rambo. You're going to want to make sure at least someone on your team actually could help you out. Maybe start calling one of your teammates to get a Cantus and keep those Corpsers alive because they will finish the push. Now, I want to bring to your attention that we are on the third round of this, and now you're going to see all these endgame Locusts come out. So let's go over to the Locust, and we're going to watch this Mauler demolish this fence here. When you're a Mauler, you're pretty much swinging a frag grenade every time you click. That's what's awesome about these Maulers. And also, when you hold your left trigger, you put the shield up. So as long as bullets are hitting the shield, you're going to take absolutely no damage. He's an overall great unit for closed spaces. This estate tends to be like a mixed map where there's closed and open spaces. Look at him take on this turret right now. He just had his shield up. One swing takes out the turret, so those 8 seconds of that turret being up are gone. Unfortunately, you can't see the rest of the team, but he is doing a lot of work pushing the COG team around. They're absolutely distracted. The E-hole is taking some damage. It's only it's at 75% health, but it looks like what the Locusts are doing, they're just making sure that all these fences go down. Even if you have the advantage on a map, it's still a good idea once in a while to get a ticker and chew up the fences that are in the back of the map because you're getting free points. And with those free points, oh man. Yeah, the spinning shield does that. But you want to make sure you chew up the fences in the back of the map because those are free points. And then even if you die as an advanced Locust, you can come back and still buy another one. So there is economy in this game, guys. There is resource management. You're going to be communicating with your team. You also want to make sure that you don't, as Locust, that you don't pick the same unit at the same time. Like it's a little silly to have 3 Maulers out there and no Cantus, because then if the 3 Maulers go down and they had no healing, it was kind of a waste. So you always want to communicate with your team. Make sure you have a diverse team makeup. That way it's like, oh, we got to fight a Mauler. There's a Serapede crawling around on the ground. There's a Rager that can get enraged at any moment and start mailing us to death. You want to really just cause havoc as the Locust team, mess them up. I'm amazed at what this Mauler is doing right now. This Mauler is absolutely causing so much havoc on the COG team. He's eliminated 2 turrets in 1 life. Right now the Serapede there it is. GG. The generator is destroyed. So that was a really great round by the Locust, using diverse Locust tactics, really just mixing up the strategy. Their tickers did a great job at the beginning of the game getting those fences down. They had a slow 3rd round here, but everything was all good because they were able to buy all those advanced Locusts at the same time and really end game that 3rd generator, the 3rd objective. So now in Overrun, once one team was the Locust and one team was the COG, they switch roles, and now it's up to the new Locust team to beat the record that the old Locust team set. This is the most interesting part of the match to me, because if you're in your Xbox Live party chat or if you guys are just landing, you want to chat it up right now. Right now you're talking to your buddies and you're saying, guys, are we going over or are we going under? Where are we going to start with these tickers? And we're going to check out right now where these tickers are headed. Generally, they'll all go in the same direction, and there they go. They're all going underneath. See, you want to communicate that because the more tickers there are on the fence, the faster it'll bring down. Watch them chew out this first fence. This first fence is going down extremely fast, and now they're going to be able to scuttle around to the next fence. What's awesome about this map is that there's actually ticker holes that are exclusive to only ticker movement. And if all else fails, if you're chewing up the fences, you can always explode. Now, I don't think the COG team was really ready for that kind of strategy. Those tickers came out of nowhere. The turret placement never went up, because if there was a turret anywhere near these fences, it would have chewed up all the tickers. And we're actually seeing some Wretch play right now. We didn't get to see the Wretch in the last round, but the Wretch is actually great for stunning the COG team. So say you're doing a ticker push, or you actually have an advanced Locust out there. The Wretch is actually one of the greatest support roles on the Locust because of the crowd control that the Wretch has. The Wretch puts out the Scream. Anybody in front of the Scream actually is stunned. They can still move, but they can't do anything with their weapons, which allows the Locust next to you to take advantage of the COG team. And this Wretch, I guess this Wretch is still trying to figure out what to do right now, but let's take a look at the COG team. The E-hole right now, they're trying to protect it, but the Locust team is doing such a great job of getting that initial harass on the E-hole. If you could just see what happened right there, Sophia, the medic on the COG team, she was actually in her stim grenade and was able to pretty much take the full brunt damage of a frag grenade, and she was only able to do that because she was in a stim grenade, because the stim grenade gives you full health, like I said. Every frame it's giving you full health, and it actually expands your health bar just a tiny bit too, so you're able to take a little bit more damage. So those one-shots really need to be really good. Here comes some tickers to the E-hole. Now, when the E-hole is this low, it only takes 2 tickers to blow up on the E-hole and start the next round. So it looked like the Locust team was trying to get those tickers in there. Tickers are really cheap and fast support units. So if you're trying to finish off a push, they're just there it is. This E-hole's gone. Yeah. So those tickers, they get in. They have that they have a boost ability. And they're just great to keep the pressure on the COG team because they can get back to the objective so fast. When you're a Grenadier or a Cantist, you know, you're pretty much, you're setting up, you're doing team play. But as a ticker, you can just keep the pressure on the front line because you can keep coming. Whether you die or not, like if you die, you stay alive. If you die immediately, you can run to the front line. It's just that great unit. If you're having a bad game, you know, if you just can't see what's going on the map, grab yourself a ticker, get out in front, see where the COG team is. Doesn't really matter if you blow up because you could be there in 5 seconds again once you respawn. So I'm taking a look at the COG team right now. We actually have a player on the turret. The turret's awesome for bigger units. I actually wouldn't use the turret at the beginning of a round when there's a smaller locust units coming at you because it doesn't move very fast, especially if those tickers are coming in and they're boosting in. You're going to want to just use your rifles and punt them. So stay off the... this is a strategy for you guys, but stay off the turret until the locusts come out. Now this Barrett is actually doing a pretty good job on the COG team. With this fence here, he's trying to protect his fence. He's making sure he's safe. I'm not sure exactly why there's the repair gun. So he wants to repair. Oh, these tickers just took it out right as he was going to repair the fence. Let's go over to the locust. Check out what this Wretch is doing. Wretch went for his exclusive jumping position. What's awesome about Wretches is that they can jump over fortifications. There's a Cole trying to melee him in the back. And he's going to get it. But the Wretches, if you want to distract the COG team, grab a Wretch. If they're especially paying attention to only one side of the map, you can take a Wretch, get behind enemy lines, get over to that E-hole, and you could start the alarm trigger, which really distracts the COG team. So if they were doing a really good job of holding down one lane on the map, by starting that alarm and hitting the E-hole, they're probably like, oh god, what's going on? What's back there? And if there's a Wretch back there, you'll have like 3 COGs turn around and try and get that one Wretch, which will give the rest of your Locust team an opening when you're going to push. Man, these tickers are so much fun, guys. I like watching these tickers. Let me see if this ticker actually finds one of the... Oh, no. So, the turret went up. He knows he doesn't stand a chance. Actually, he gets to blow up on the fence. Not going to do it, and there's the engineer right there repairing up the damage. You guys, you want to make sure when you're Locust, if you're going to push on your fences, especially if there's an engineer there, that it's a coordinated attack because all he's going to do is repair that damage. And when you do that, the only benefit you get out of the engineer repairing defenses is that you can come back and get more points. But it's kind of a waste of a push. It wastes time. You want to stay alive as much as you can unless you're... Besides being a ticker, you want to stay alive as much as you can. And right now we're seeing a Sera